I'm with Ibrahim Issa from Hope Flower School. Now, Ibrahim, what is Hope Flower School?
Well, first, thank you so much for this interview. Hope Flowers School is a Palestinian school established in 1984, and it is a basic school and a center for education and community development.
And why were you started?
It started to respond to the needs of Palestinian children, mainly in Bethlehem area, and children living in the refugee camps and villages and the neighboring villages also. At that time, there was sincere lack of services for the children to respond to to fulfill their educational and emotional needs also. So the school is founded to respond to these needs of Palestinian children.
At what age range do you cover?
From 4 to 13 years old now. The school has been serving students in the past between 4 and 18 years old. And after the uprising, we had to close the secondary level of the school. So now, the second uprising. And now we serve children from 4 to 13 years old with the community center. And we have still older graduates programs and youth programs. But officially, the school covers between 4 and 13 years old.
Are these children with difficult needs?
We are inclusive school. That means children with special needs are also welcome. We have also children with special needs. The school, based on this, on its approach, human rights approach, that every child has the right for education. So we have, from the 300 children, we have about 70 children with learning disabilities, physical disabilities, and some autistic children also.
Do they mix together well with able-bodied children?
Yeah, there is a whole approach actually, and you have to prepare the environment for that. It doesn't happen naturally, especially here in the Palestinian territories, and among Palestinians, children with disabilities are discriminated also in society. So we have to prepare teachers, we have to work with parents, and we have to work with the children also to prepare for an inclusive environment.
And do you provide counselling for the children, for their parents as well?
Right. When we provide actually counseling, we provide rehabilitation like speech therapy and occupational therapy, and we provide also special education programs. The school has built this experience since 2004 that we started to include children with special needs, and we have cooperated with many professionals to develop our programs. So we have, I think, very good services for children with special needs now.
Do you need special teachers to understand the needs of the children?
Right. Unfortunately, in the West Bank, until 2 years ago, we did not have special education programs or faculties in universities. So we had to train teachers in special education methods so that they can fulfill the educational needs of children. So we have to train teachers, yes. We need the special teachers to provide the special education.
Do you see a difference in the children after they've been through with the teachers for counselling?
Sure, yes. It's we speak about a huge difference that the child comes, for example, with the parents have lost the hope that this child could be educated. And with these interventions, the child could be educated again. Special education is an intensive process. Sometimes the intervention is happening for short period, but sometimes it should go through the whole academic life of the child or the human being. So it makes a big difference. And the earlier we start, the better. So we focus very much on early diagnosing of children with special needs.
Do you have children suffering from trauma, and what sort of trauma behavior do you see?
We have trauma was our first program started in 2003. We provide trauma counseling for children and for their families. There are several symptoms of trauma. In school, we could recognize violence, academic setbacks, learning disabilities, and attention deficit disorder, for example. And I mentioned violence, but also behavior issues, So there are several symptoms of trauma.
And you also have women empowerment. What do you do there?
Actually, it's connected also with the trauma program. The trauma, normally, we identify that as the child in the school, but mostly it's the family who's affected. So we have to bring the family also. So the mother is also a caregiver and she is the most one that interacts with the child. So the woman empowerment program is not only to empower women themselves, but to empower the whole family.
You do something called peace education. What is that?
Well, I prefer to call it life skills education. It is how to manage with conflicts in constructive way, to learn about forms of violence and how to protect ourselves from violence. So it's all about individual skills, life skills that helps you to deal with conflicts, the small conflicts, but also the big conflicts in constructive way.
What sort of challenges does the school face?
A lot. It's not easy to operate a school here. For Hope Flowers, we have the regular problems that all Palestinian schools face, I think, with financial needs for educational, to improve, to develop the school itself, to develop the education. But in Hope Flowers School, we suffer also of demolition orders. We are located in Area C, near one of the settlements, Efrat. And we have received several demolition orders in the past. So we have to start always and to be alert and to protect the school. So we have challenges from all types.
Is poverty a challenge, and how do you meet that challenge?
A lot, It's the recent UN United Nations Community and Trade and Development report for 2016, speaking about 50% of the Palestinians are poor. So half of the population are poor. And we can see that in the school among parents who cannot afford the basic needs of their children, and children cannot pay tuition fees. So we provide the scholarships for children with financial difficulties also. So poverty is also hot meals, malnourishment. We have children who are malnourished. There are several researches about that. 66% of the Palestinians suffer of food insecurity, according to UN report. And there is other reports speaking about malnourishment among children, which is about 56%. So we face all kinds of difficulties also in that aspect. And the school has to respond to these needs, because you cannot educate a hungry child. You need always to prepare a safe and supportive environment for education.
Now, you say that none of your students or former students have been engaged with the ongoing violence in Palestine. We intend to continue in that. You must be proud of that fact.
Actually, let me clarify that, because this is sometimes misunderstood. Originally, we promote non-violent resistance, and that's how the basic finding ethos of the Hope Flowers School is to promote non-violence also, and to educate about non-violence. So we have many students who have been involved in non-violent resistance and being community leaders also, and addressing community issues. But we educate children also about alternative ways of dealing with violence.
Are you making a difference in the community?
I think this question could be better asked for someone from the community, but to my belief and my understanding and satisfaction, yes, we make big difference, not only in Bethlehem area, but the school is, and the Hope Flowers Center is selected as partner for the Palestinian Ministry of Education. Every year we train a number of teachers and educators from other schools in the West Bank on issues in special education and counseling. And until now we have trained people, more than 400 teachers and 200 counselors, 200 principals, school principals from 200 schools in the south of the West Bank. And we intend to continue. There is big need for this work, and we intend to continue that. So I think, yes, and without making a tangible difference, I think some Minister of Education would not have chosen us for this status.
And why do you do what you do?
This we do certainly out of responsibility to our community and to build Palestine that every Palestinian dream of, Palestine of tomorrow, to end the occupation, to build a civil society. And what's better than starting with education?
And what's your prayer finally for the school, for the children?
I really hope that, first for the children, I really pray for all Palestinian children actually to live their lives as human as other human beings in the world live in peace and freedom, and where they are respected as human beings also, to live in such society. And for the Hope of Flowers School, I hope that we manage to, first we will continue to be safe and not much affected of the situation, especially with the demolition, road closure, and all these difficulties in our area. And I hope that we manage to transfer our knowledge and experience in the school to other schools, because the Hope of Flowers School has a lot of experience in this field.
And what's your website for people who'd like to know more?
It's hopeflowersschool.org. It's just the name of the school, Hope of Flowers School, one word, .org.
Okay, Ibrahim, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paul.